welcome to yet another edition of Title Talk.
Title Talk. I feel like we're on opposite sides of the universe right now. Carol, this is some cool setup.
The room has been redone,
and
this is exciting. Oh my gosh, I don't have my phone to share, nor do you.
I do.
Okay, you can go ahead.
I always come prepared. Come on.
Yeah, we're just kind of, flying by the seat of our pants here today.
I feel like the first 2 hours of being here went by really fast. And
it's been pretty crazy. It's been a pretty crazy start today. But hey, we're here again. We've made another week, Amy. Do you believe that? Yes.
Yes.
Why don't you tell everybody who we are and all that fun stuff?
We are Inspired Title, located at 11757 Southwest Highway in Palos Heights. Also having locations in Griffith and St. John.
Wow.
And that was nice, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully some exciting news upcoming in the next couple months about where we're going to next.
Where are we going?
Can't tell you.
Okay.
Well, you know.
I do?
Maybe. We have been getting a lot of question about, are we licensed in Michigan?
We are, but I'm also pushing for that other state.
I know. So, sorry.
Yes.
Behind the scenes, it's a lot of exciting stuff happening here. It's been a really, really awesome couple months to start out this year, and we're excited to see what's to come next.
And I just can't believe we're almost through our first quarter of the year already, and
that's insane.
It is. It's pretty nuts. It is pretty nuts. But we're happy that you guys joined us today, and we are looking forward to giving you guys some good information today. We have a special guest that will be joining us here in a little while, and we'll kind of talk a little bit more about that individual and ask them some questions and kind of dive into a little bit more about what they do and things. But until that point, why don't we get into the things that we do pretty consistently, pretty regularly.
With a little change up.
Yeah.
A little. Because, Drew gets bored really easily, so, an hour before we came on, he's like, why don't we do this instead?
I'm like that.
You are.
That's who I am.
Keeps me young.
Absolutely. So now we'd like to move into our introduction of somebody who has been working with me for many years, at least 9 years, and somebody that I really have grown fond of, and he is one of our premier closers for our company. And I just wanted to have him on and chat with him a little bit about what he does, and kind of give the audience some idea as to what a title closer does and what their role and responsibility is. So I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Miguel Ellis, our title closer. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
Look at you all dressed up fancy and
thanks for dressing up for us.
looking all stylish. You just make us look kind of sloppy.
Lobby.
That's good.
Once a month.
That's good. That is good. So hey, we wanted to just take a few minutes to introduce and talk to you a little bit about what a title closer is and what they do. So because obviously people know that the attorneys handle a lot of things and realtors handle a lot of things, but they fail to really know the knowledge of what we do and what our roles are. So can you kind of briefly give people an idea of what the role or what the job of a title closer is?
Sure. So what I think that we do is we are the glue that holds everything together at the end. We are able to assist multiple resources and multiple people. They are putting a financial transaction together, and that starts with when there's a purchase. There's realtors that are involved when they're trying to get a property for a borrower, or a listing agent for the seller, and then you have the banks who are actually loan officers and processors and everyone that is involved in trying to get the transaction together for them. And then we are in the middle of that whole mix. And in essence, we are related to all this circle of people that are trying to make some money, either a homeowner or just to get a refinance going, and just a myriad of transactions that we handle. So specifically, we do many things.
Right.
Generic, we are basically multitasking with every one of these people that are involved.
What do you are we working specifically or representing specifically somebody, or are we, like, who are we working on behalf of in most instances?
Well, I like to say that we're neutral, that we
Very
can't
good.
take sides.
Right.
We have to keep the transaction and be neutral at all points without taking side, because we have to protect the integrity
Right.
of this transaction. So in essence, we have to protect the banks
Right.
as they are entrusted us into ensuring their loan policies,
Correct.
and homeowners with their policies, and their sellers. You know, we want to make sure that everything that is being done is legal. So I just don't think that we represent anyone in particular.
Right.
Although we do work with attorney agents, and they obviously work closely with us. They bring us the business, and also the banks and loan officers. We obviously work on their behalf to protect the integrity. But at the end of the day, we're neutral.
Right.
We can't take sides, and that's just it. I mean, as a title company, we have to be fair.
Right.
And equal, and stay on the legal side with everyone.
That's well said, and I think that's something to understand, that we get pulled into the transaction to fulfill a role, and that role is we're given instructions from the lender as to what we have to follow and what we need to get done, and that's where the closer's part is very, very well done in following those instructions, making sure that all of the correct documents are signed and everything. It, like, basically you're hand-holding them through that transaction, and maybe helping, if the attorney's not there, you know, give some explanation onto what that document is, or you know, how to you know, where to get the answer if you know, we can't have it, right? I mean, it's
Over the years, and that is true. I mean, that is true. Over the years, this business has shifted so much from short sales through, you know, regular transactions, and now dealing with COVID, which has made it, you know, even more difficult. And yet we have to come up with solutions sometimes that would still make the transaction go through. Our goal here, not just with the title company, but in general, is to get the transaction closed.
Definitely.
Which is when everyone, you know, get you know, the essence of just what the transaction is, which is closing and dispersing, and everyone is paid, and you know, everyone is working. So we want to make sure we facilitate that and bring solutions. And I think that from our company and from my perspective and from everyone that we work in this team, we offer a lot of solutions.
Well said.
Just here at Inspired Title, I mean, I think that we do a great job of sometimes coming up with solutions because we have so experienced.
Yeah, and you know, that's interesting, because your background is from the mortgage business, right? You were a you know, mortgage lender for a handful of years, as did I have a mortgage background. So like you said, the worst thing that can happen is that deal falling apart at the table or before. And something that Miguel is really, really great at, and something that he has been complimented on by the industry, is his ability to think outside the box and come up with some creative solutions to getting that deal done, finding a way to keep that transaction moving, whether it be calling the lender and say, hey, don't put this here, move it to here, and that will help the ratios. It will help some of the debt to income ratios, also known as the DTI. I mean, things that maybe not every other company may be able to you know, think outside. There's a lot of companies are just no people, where it's yeah, you know what, it's not perfect, so we don't want to do it. We're not interested in taking that risk to have a conversation about talking to the lender or talking to an attorney and seeing if they're willing to alter and move some things within the legal boundaries. Obviously, we're not doing anything illegal, and just being creative. And that's what Inspired Title as a small company does. That's the name Inspired, where it comes from, and that's the inspired way that we constantly talk about, is being able to think outside the box, coming up with a creative solution to the deal. Not every deal is black and white. Not every deal is simple. As a matter of fact,
Are any?
yeah.
I mean, every transaction is its own story.
Yes.
It really is. From just the different personalities of a realtor or attorneys or their processors at the bank, or you know, even their clients. dealing with COVID it has made it
Definitely.
for us to adjust in different ways that we never had before. You know, you have people that are out of state right now and
Yeah.
still able to deliver, which it amazes me
Great.
how good, you know, we're able to be creative and still be busy and deliver, which
Yeah.
to me at the end of the day is the goal, is to deliver what we actually promise. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Get it done.
it's
Do you have any questions for Miguel?
I don't want
Did
to
I put you on the spot?
Yeah, kind
Okay,
of.
that's fine, no problem.
Yeah, no, I'm
No,
just taking it all in.
I think that something that would be helpful for the audience to know is, do you have an example or some transaction that stands out for you where you really stepped in and made a difference?
Without
there's
name
been
dropping.
several. Yeah, I know there's been several because I know that's something that you do probably more often than any other closer I've
100%.
either met or any other company I've ever talked to. The call that I get frequently is how much they appreciate Miguel's ability to think outside the box and
To
come
get a
up with a
deal done.
solution.
Yeah.
It's not about him just kind of going through the steps and going, yeah, you know what?
We're done.
It doesn't look
Yeah.
like this is going to work. Have a great day. Move on. He stops and just kind of goes, where can we solve this? But do you have an example maybe where you...
yeah, there's many. But I think the
your
one
favorite
recent.
story?
No. There's one very recent, and I think just to backtrack a little bit about what closers do is most of the time a closer receives a package from a bank and they just follow the instructions to a T, and if it doesn't check that box,
right.
they can't close
Right,
it.
stop.
They can't think that there is a way to still get it done, and that has happened more than once, where it goes back to the bank and the bank is like, well, we can't do this, and I have seen ways to legally get it done. I mean, the most recent example was with Andy, one loan officer. I'm not going to say the last name, but his situation was that I actually did read the payoff, and I looked at the date of the payoff, and I noticed that the escrows, the borrower needed to bring more money than they had actually seasoned, which is proven funds, to the bank. They have to make sure that the money that is being brought to closing has to be in their account.
Right.
And obviously by all legal standards, and it has to be there.
Right.
Unfortunately, that has not been proven. So that means that we can't close because the borrower can't prove that. I did see the payoff, and I looked at the escrows, and I noticed that the taxes or the insurance had been paid by the payoff lender. So what I told them is, order a new payoff, because I'm certain that that's been paid off, and that's going to reduce the cash flow and close. And in effect, that was the case. So it allowed the transaction to move forward and close. So I mean,
But it
That's a
takes a
great
little
find.
digging and it takes a little time, and that's something that it's hard to find in a bigger title company.
Right.
Like Miguel handholds every situation, every deal that he does to find those solutions. Which
so I mean, obviously, the loan officer is happy, and the borrower is extremely happy,
Yep.
and everyone wins. And that's, at the end of the day, I think that we were able to close down. Not always is 100% like that, but there's always a way.
Yeah.
It's just always a way.
Well, that's a great find, because, I mean, literally what that is
You save the
attention
deal.
to detail.
Yeah.
I mean, you literally, because you got the package, which a package is nothing more than what the lender provides for the closer to close from. It's the instructions and then all the documents that need to be signed. So, I mean, it's a matter of Miguel going through that closing package and reading what the requirements and the expectations are, and then thinking outside the box or thinking ahead to say, okay, here's our problem, but here's the solution because A, B, and C. And he's able to bring that. And I think Andy was very excited and happy to have that solution, because again, as the loan officer, that doesn't close, they don't get paid.
Right.
And everybody in the transaction loses out. So now it's got to go back to underwriting, and it's going to delay the process and the time, and we've already invested in it. So, our thought process is, we're in it. Let's get
Let's
it
finish
done.
it. Yeah.
The other part about that, on being successful at closing a transaction like that, is that the loan officer gets the word of mouth from their borrower. They're able to, find a solution and close, which opens more opportunities for them to grow and to increase their volume of work, which in turns, hopefully we'll get a piece of that. So it's a win situation for everyone when to do that. I think that one of the things that I like about this company, about Inspired Title, is that we have an open door policy where I can go, when I don't have a solution, I can go back to Amy, or I can go back to John, who's my colleague who's not here right now, or I can go to Brittany, who's even new, but she comes up with a couple things that are great, Christina, and sometimes in sharing ideas, somebody remembers something and, hey, you did this here, you think that would work? And you're like, yes.
Right.
So, in having an open door policy, as a team, we're able to find solutions and deliver. So, I mean, it is great. It is great what we do here in that essence, that we're not shy about asking questions, and we're not shy about, sharing ideas versus a bigger company where you basically have to wait for your manager to be open to listen, and then 99% of the time they're going to shut down and say, no, you can't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and we all jump in onto problem solving because it is a smaller company, and we are all in on the team effort to this, and it's often brought, and conversations are often had where, hey, I'm having trouble with this, or wow, this one's going to crash because, and we all kind of gather and discuss openly about ways to get that deal done, and it's not about a pride thing where it's like, well, it's got to be my idea, it's got to be this idea. It's about discussion and solution and resolution and get her done. And I think that that's something to be proud of. I mean, obviously, again, we're talking to Miguel, who is one of our lead closers here, and somebody that is sought after in our business. In for our company, he gets requested for people to close that transaction because they like the way he gets through it, and they appreciate the fact that he takes the time and puts forth the effort. The world we live in today, everything is hurry up, let's get it done, and to a degree that's important, because time is money. But there's also the other side of that where taking some time and making sure that everybody understands, and making sure that everything is handled properly, and T's are crossed and I's are dotted, because a missed detail, I mean, it's a huge thing. There's some liability in what you do. I mean, there's some risk in what you do. It's not just, once the deal at the table is done, it's not over.
It's not.
I mean, there's after fact that.
I mean, going through the whole progress of this is we get our files, and even before that, we are alerted by different emails and phone calls where we receive the information, and that is where all starts, the magic starts, and then we wait for our examiners to do their procedures and their jobs, and then we receive that. And when we receive a title commitment, we read through it, we highlight, just focus on the highlights of what needs to be cleared, and then we start collecting the data to clear that information, and that comes through different resources. And again, I appreciate very much all the processors that I work with from all different banks, and and paralegals that we work with different attorneys, because they are able to provide what we need, and that constant communication is very, very important to us. When there's no communication, that's when failure happens, and that's when last minute issues delay closing, and it is like that. I mean, you're juggling multiple things at the same time, and you want to make sure that at the end of the day, we are all protected. Our underwriters, have all the resources to back us up and support what we need, and obviously our clients are happy. So I did notice that a lot. Communication has increased and it's better. So
and it's funny that you said that, because here's another industry person mimicking what Amy and I have been saying for the last several weeks on the show about communication. It's just a critical. It's just such an integral part to what we do. It holds so much value, and it's such a simple thing to do. It's a picking up the phone, which people are just so not used to doing anymore, because it's like, what's that thing sitting on my desk? What do I do with that?
Just collecting dust.
It keeps ringing. It's just so annoying to me. Pick the darn thing up and say hello. So literally, it's communicating to the people that, hey, we got a question, hey, we got a problem, here's an idea. I mean, sending that email, they may reply to it, but pick up the phone, communicate, and do it ahead of time instead of waiting till the last minute. Because when you get to the closing table, everything should be resolved by then.
It should be too late at that
and
point.
Unfortunately, it's not, and that's something that, that's a whole nother animal in its own. But I think that the things that Miguel described today and kind of going through, if you guys have any questions for Miguel, please, feel free to ask him. He's sitting here, he'd be happy to field any of those questions. But the reality of what a closer does is facilitates the transaction and does the finality of it, from the signing of the documents, all of the paperwork that is required to finalize the transaction, the deeds, the mortgages, the conveyance documents, all the things that the bank needs. He's following that to the letter, and then, but everything he spoke of prior to, that's all been done behind the scenes. That's all stuff that has been done prior to. So when you're sitting at closing, you're going, well, all he's doing is shuffling paper and passing papers along. Oh, if that was so true, he would love that.
That would be easy.
He would love that to be just his only responsibility. But then afterwards, he's paying off your credit cards. He's paying off your auto loan. He's paying off your mortgage because you've got a new one. He's verifying your HOA. He's making sure your taxes are paid, and on and on. You think that doesn't come with some liability, responsibility, and/or headache? It does.
And time and patience,
right.
There's a lot.
I mean,
Time consuming.
taxes. I mean, that in its own right is a big
It's a
animal.
beast, yeah.
2 times a year are when taxes are due, and depending on how the closing dates fall, we come into kind of a conundrum where we hold back the tax dollars from the closing, and then we have to pay that. But these guys need to calendar this stuff, because if we do 50 closings, we got 50 taxes to pay. Miss one of those, it's a huge liability.
It's huge.
Have a wire be sent out to your mortgage folks and have it be wrong, and now your mortgage isn't paid off. Now you got 2. Whoops! Haha. Good luck. Have fun. No, that's us.
Yeah.
And so the role that he plays and the role that the closer plays does carry some weight, and there is a lot of responsibility that is a part of that. And how long have you been part of the industry now? And you've been in the...
When I was just the title side?
Yeah, the title part of the business.
About close to 10 years.
Yeah.
9.
Yeah, so I mean, over that time, we can definitely say that we've seen the short sales, we've seen the foreclosures, we've seen the flips.
The flips.
Holy mackerel, the flip
Back-to-back.
market went nuts, the back-to-back closings. Then we get into now we're into the COVID issues. The refi market is booming. Obviously the standard buy sells are they always kind of follow along. But I think now with the next wave, I think the prep is for some of these forbearance things to start happening, and we're going to start seeing some of these short sales and foreclosures happening.
Reverse mortgages and things like
Yeah,
that.
I mean we've seen more reverse mortgages this year than we have in
Than I've seen in a
any.
while.
Yeah, and it's just the industry is always evolving, and we have to do that as a company as well. And some of the bigger companies struggle with that because that's a lot of people to adapt.
Right, to get on board.
We're definitely a smaller company, boutique company, where it gives us the ability to, what did we adapt in for COVID? It took us a week. We all kind of went, all right, what are we gonna do now?
Game on.
All right, I guess we're going to that person's house to close that deal, or I guess we're gonna do that one over Zoom, or I guess we're
curbside.
Yeah, I mean, curbside closings. You guys were, handing things through the window and rolling up the window part of the way. It's
In the
just
garage
like,
of somebody's house.
Yes,
and
he sent me a picture
the
sitting on
backyard.
buckets in the
Yeah,
garage.
sitting on buckets.
Yeah,
In the backyard
Right.
with the wind blowing.
right.
And
Dogs chasing you,
dogs.
biting
I
you.
almost got bit by a dog.
It was a poodle.
Yeah,
Just
Charlie.
kidding.
Hello, Charlie.
Yeah, his story about the dog. I mean, it's like the fish that you caught.
Yeah.
This dog was a monster. This dog was
not
a
great. It's
a wiener dog.
Beagle. It was a beagle.
Yeah. So
Oh, no,
I mean,
yeah.
he's risking life and limb for you. Don't forget that. But
So just the George Constanza wallet. That
Yes.
helped me.
Yes,
Because
thank
it
God.
bit me, but it hit the wallet.
That's great. But we appreciate you taking the time to kind of fill in some of the maybe question marks that are out there on what a closing is and what a closer is. And I know that I'm going to speak for me, and I'll let Amy do her thing. But we appreciate what you do and the job that you do here, because you are out there helping the client base, and you're allowing us to do the things that we do in the growth process. And this Home for Heroes thing that we're rolling out, I know that's something that excites you as well.
Very
something
much.
that is,
Very
you really bring that to the attention of, hey, let's help these folks out where we can. And I think that's just who we are as a team, representative of helping the community. And
I think the Home for Heroes and anything that is related to our men and women of the military and first responders is huge. It's very dear to my heart, because I think that at the end of the day, they're people too. They could be our brothers and sisters. And I have family in the military, and it's important. It's important that we give back. They deserve it, and they earn it. And it's the American way.
It is.
It is. They sacrifice so much, and this family sacrifice so much, and it is important that we do.
It is. No, it's great. So we thank you for taking a few minutes and kind of chat with us here today. And
thank you for having me by.
No, thank you. Well, hey, have a great rest of the day, sir.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
We'll see you in 7 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Miguel Ellis of Inspired Title. We thank you for having him be a part of the show. It's always good to kind of meet the people behind the scenes that are really helping us grow, and Miguel's a integral part of what that is. So.
What's amazing to me is how he talks this like it's second nature. Like, you hear Miguel talk about anything, closing related, title related, he talks it like he's
very passionate about it.
He does.
He really is passionate about it.
He talks it like I talk about the weather. It's just something that's so natural and so
that's what allows him to be as good and fluent in it as he is.
Because it's just life. It's his,
He really prides himself in doing a good job, and I know he prides himself in every aspect
our
of
customers,
that deal.
And he will bend over backwards and do anything for customers, and he puts them first. Whereas it's not about the making the money part. It's just he wants to close a deal that he puts time and effort into.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. So thanks for listening into that, guys. And if you have any questions, if there are some things that you want to know, he's here at our office, and certainly we can get you in touch with him. If you have a transaction or a deal that you want him to participate in, just let us know. It's simple and easy, but he's great, and we're glad to have him. So. Things, and we're proud to have you guys as an audience. We're proud to have you guys listening, and your viewership and your sharing and the things that you guys do to really keep us excited about doing this, and we're thankful for all of those things too. So please keep that stuff up. Keep your ideas coming. If there's something you want to hear us talk about on the show,
pass out TikTok. I'm in. That's what Courtney said.
If there's things that you want to learn a little bit more about, please, we're here for you guys. We're not doing this for us. We're doing this for you guys. We're doing this to really educate you guys and give you guys a little bit of insight to who we are, what we do, what's the business, what's the industry, what we're about. And we just really appreciate you every week kind of listening in and coming out here. So I know we are running a little bit longer here.
Yeah, sorry.
We can just get this thing wrapped up here today, and thank our guest Miguel for
thank you, Miguel. It was great having you here.
For being part of the.
We've been trying to get him on here for a good chunk of time. So the fact that he came on here was huge. It was great.
And we're going to tackle out another guy who is a closer for us, and big fan of him as well, and he does a great job, and just very detail oriented, and a guy that we really enjoy to have on the team. So but we'll see who we have for a guest next week, but I think until next time, I think you guys can
Sorry, I heard a beep.
I heard a beep too. Does that mean somebody's chiming in with a question?
No.
Oh, darn.
Or it's probably saying we have to stop talking so we can go back to our real lives.
Yeah. So, hey guys, my name is Drew.
And my name is Amy.
We are Inspired Title, and we thank you guys for joining us today, and look forward to seeing you guys next week. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great week.